Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. Welcome back to this run here. We have. Hold on one second. I got this one. Okay, perfect. We have a swap space versus Ddraig random percent run. It was chosen in the background. The incentive that won was 95 to 134%. The number that was randomly generated was 116%. So Swap Space and Ddraig will be racing 116%. How they elect to do that, that is up to them, but we're going to have two incredible comms that can walk you through it every step of the way. We got Kip and we got Tracy M. I'm going to leave it over to you guys, and you just let me know if donations come in. If you can, just let me know when it's good to come in and interrupt or whatever. But yeah, good luck, guys, and have fun.
All right, thanks, Jay. So Kip, tell us, how do we get over 100% in this game?
That's a good question. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. This is, I would assume, going to be connected to or be most similar to the max percent GT code extension board category, which I've only run the category like twice. I don't know everything about it, but correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy. I believe that the major items don't actually count towards your percentage. And so
you don't count twice.
Yeah, they don't count twice. So you can actually collect some of them before you do the GT code and then leave enough items afterwards so that you can get to your desired percentage, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep, that's what I assume they'll do. Yeah, because you can get all the major items and be fine. Now, you're not going to do that. That'd be silly. But yeah, they're going to have to get some of the major items. So they might choose to get some extra minor items because they don't need to go to the full, 133 normally? I'm blanking out. It's 133 or 134 for some reason.
I think max percent is 135, right?
135? Okay, well, somebody smarter than
Last
me
time I checked
will correct me. There we go. Stratlog tells us it's 135. So yeah, they're going to collect some number of items. Then they'll go, do the GT code, and then they'll have to end at 116 total. And apparently, if they go to 117, that's not okay. It has to be exactly 116. So
yeah, that sounds pretty challenging, actually. I was just thinking, though, it elects for some cool opportunities for, like, for example, you can completely skip 2 items at GT and not have to fight GT. So that's, 2 that would probably save a decent amount of time. And then there might be other whole sections that are kind of out of the way, maybe some in Meridia where they'll decide not to go. So I'm not really sure how I would route this. I've never attempted something like this, but it certainly seems like a fun cerebral activity.
Well, and part of the fun of it for these guys is going to be that they're just finding out right now. Actually, they're supposed to not find out until they enter Cirrus Station what the number is going to be. So they have to figure this out on the fly and go ahead and come up with some sort of route to figure it out. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
Gotcha. And so, yeah, I guess to your point, they can technically pick up more minor items than they are required to before getting the GT code in this particular case, because they only have to get to 116. So if they accidentally make a mistake, they can make up for it elsewhere. Whereas that would invalidate a max percent run. But yeah, I think the unless I'm misremembering, I think the most standard sort of generic way, unless you're doing some extremely advanced things, would be a lot of people I think would pick up like Varia and then Speed Booster and then Spark across to get Gravity or something like that. Or
yeah, there's a few different ways to do it. There is one way. We have Susream, who is one of the pioneers of this category, who will actually do a really difficult bomb jump across the moat because you cannot pick up those missiles if you want to do the 135. And the only way to avoid the missiles is to do that bomb jump or to get Speed Booster. And it's a little bit faster if you can do that, to do that. And then there's a newer, really tricky lava dive you can do now where you don't get gravity, where you do it on the right side. I've actually never seen it done, but I know Zost has done it. But the key thing is you can't pick up an E-tank. So that lava dive with no E-tanks, you got to do it right and you got to do it fast. So we're not going to see that here because they don't have to get to 135. So they can pick up an E-tank or 2.
Yeah, I was going to say I would be surprised. First of all, this is just me. If I were running this, I would do it the easy way too. But I'd be surprised if we saw the infinite horizontal bomb jump
God,
over the
I would be
moat,
shocked.
or the like double frame perfect or something. It's something really crazy, the jump method in at the lava dive. So either way, they'll collect the minimum number of items that they think they can get away with until they can get the gravity suit, again, is what I'm anticipating happening. And then they'll go down and well, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see. we'll see.
Yeah, there's no reason not to pick up Varia, but yeah, they'll pick up a couple of E-tanks, I suspect, which is what in my guess is picking up a couple extra E-tanks would be worth it. Maybe not any extra ammo. I mean, although if you're going to kill Fantoon, having a few extra missiles is 5 missile Fantoon sounds like a very raw, very hard fight I don't want to do, but yeah, they could.
Well, it looks like our competitors are off and running, and we will. The two of us will learn exactly how they're planning to do this as we move along. But at any rate, it's still a full category, so they will begin in series station here.
Yeah, and chat, I'm going to give you all a task because I know I'm not going to want to count. I'm not going to ask Kip to count. It's your job to count the number of items that they're picking up here, because
it's actually great that you say that, Tracy, because I have something that the runners want to share.
Okay.
So, if I may, they're going to be trying to attempt to collect 116%, and however many percentages they are off in the end, they will donate $1.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
If they're off by a percent, then $1, and so on and so forth. So that's something that we should look forward to in the end, because they're kind of worried about effectively pulling this off. But it's gonna be fun watching. All right, have at it.
All right, thanks, Jay. It looks like Space is gonna get out. No, wait, I got it backwards. Draig's a little bit ahead on the series station.
There we go. They're both escaped the exploding station and heading down to Zebus. And their journey will begin. Looks like we have a nice competition here between English and Japanese text. So we will see which text is superior. From what I understand, I believe most people believe that the Japanese text is faster. Is that correct?
That's what I've been told.
Well, dang it, man. I could have had faster PBs this whole time. I've been
I know,
reading
right?
English. Good grief.
Okay, yeah. And we're going to start this just like any other Super Metroid speedruns. Going to go ahead and get that morph ball. Ddraig using some Moonfall action. Looks like Swap Space also going to use some Moonfall, just didn't want to use it in the parlor room. Yeah, and as Strutlog's pointing out in chat, we do have the English versus the Welsh here. So.
Oh, is it Welsh? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Ddraig is Welsh. And I wasn't sure about Swap Space, but I'll trust Strutlog saying that he's English.
Oh, I was referring to the in-game text.
No. Oh, no, I know you were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if somebody has a cart with a Welsh text, that would be really awesome.
I was about to say that. I did not know about that, so you had me scared for a second.
So it's the battle for the UK. Yeah, I mean, they could pick up some items down here, but they're not going to. That would be, at this point, pretty silly. You don't do that in any run, unless you're Shiny Zenny getting your task tank.
Indeed. I also want to make sure I get this right, because Swap Space is pretty straightforward, but during the multi-category tournament, is it Ddraig? What is the
I've never said it right. I think Jay was saying it correctly. I just say Ddraig.
I apologize for not knowing exactly what it is. I that's something I probably should have done homework on prior. But anyway, I did the best I could.
Yeah, I've known Ddraig for a few years now, and I've always called him Ddraig for the longest time, and then I kind of morphed to Ddraig. But then it's just something that he doesn't really correct people when pronounced, but it's actually Ddraig, which, or I'm probably still mispronouncing it, but it's closer than what I normally did for the past few years. But I think normally people know him as Ddraig or Ddraig, but he doesn't really mind either way.
Cool, and yeah, I mean, I got that impression, but at the same time, I just wanted to, if possible, you know, I'd like to get it right if I can. So sounds like chat thinks that the way I pronounce it at least works, so I'll just go with that for the rest of this stream. And then even if Tracy and I are doing it differently, that's okay. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, and we get our bomb, so we know what that means. Bomb chorizo fight.
Good old BT.
Neither one entering with full health, which is always a problem because you want to get that full health ahead of time so you get only missile drops.
Yeah,
see, in Ddraig not getting any missile drops in the first round there, that hurts.
Sometimes he can bail you out. Like I've had instances where I've been below 99 and then he just happens to still randomly drop all missiles, but you don't want to leave anything up to chance that you don't have to in this game, obviously.
Yeah, RNG is not typically kind.
No, it is not.
And Ddraig having a little bit of trouble getting out of Alcatraz. Always annoying when that happens. And yeah, see, this energy tank that Swap Space just ran into, in a 135% run, that is the energy tank that you really have to watch out for because you don't want to pick it up. Fortunately for 116, no reason to avoid it.
May I step in real quick for some donations?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Awesome. We have a $5.70 donation from Andy1994. Says, kids deserve to be debt-free. Thank you for doing this. What about to do some charity to be able to help kids in the States? Explain more about that, Andy. I'm curious. And then we have Ide11 with a $10 donation. Save the animals. And that's it. Back to you guys.
All right, and of course now we get that important sequence break so we can get those early super missiles and not have to fight Spore Spawn.
Yeah, that's a really nice sequence break. Every time I discuss that, I'll be honest with you, I'm thankful that every time I speedrun this game, I don't have to go fight Spore Spawn. That would just be awful.
Yeah, but it's actually kind of a fun fact. I've been playing a whole lot of Super Metroid ROM hacks lately, and it seems like almost every one of them has a sequence break, whether intended or not, to get your early supers and avoid sequence.
Yeah.
But yeah, Swap Space with a bit of a lead with Ddraig having a little bit of trouble getting out of the Alcatraz area, had to switch to bombs. See if Swap decides to pick up these missiles right here. I feel like this is a good missile pack to pick up. It's right on your way. It's one you would normally pick up in an any percent run. Like I said, I do not envy anyone having to do a five missile Fantoon fight.
Looks like he is going to.
I mean, people don't realize the difference between 10 and 15, 5 and 10, 10 and 15, 15 and 20. Once you get past 20, it's pretty consistent, but some of those lower amounts, if you're not used to it, having to farm missiles during the fight, it does change it quite a bit and can make it slow depending on what drops you get.
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course, now that I think about it, given that this is not max percent GT and that they get to cap out or whatever at 116, this actually means that if you wanted to, you could just go straight to Fantoon because it wouldn't matter if you collected the moat missiles.
Right.
I hadn't really thought about that earlier. If I were doing this, I would just go straight there and then not do barrier or speed boost or anything like that.
Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. We'll see if either one of them. Well, we're gonna Swap Space looks like he's already gone down. Let's see if Ddraig decides to go up. As far as I know, neither one of these runners does new route. So I actually suspect they're still going to do the Varia to the speed booster.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you, you know, did it consistently and whatnot. I wouldn't recommend someone just like randomly trying it.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you're not already a new route runner, then yeah, do what you're good at. Go ahead, get that Varia suit. Get that speed. Well, even the speed booster doesn't matter so much if you can do a CWJ. I personally find, for me, it's not the CWJ it's scary. It's the actual fight, the one tank no suit Fantoon fight that's scary to me. So
yeah, of course. It gets the better of all of us. Even if you're experienced in it and do it all the time, you can definitely still die. It's not totally uncommon for that to happen. And that's not what you want to see in a race, obviously.
No, of course not.
You know, one thing that we just saw on Ddraig's screen is that I really like is because he's using Moonfall, he is getting extra utility out of Moonwalk. And there are there are nuanced places where you can kind of use that to your advantage. He fell down on purpose to do the jump into Kraid's lair, but he moonwalked backwards to give himself like a few more pixels or whatnot of space to be able to run and jump. And it's kind of cool, you know, that you're able to position yourself in that way with Moonwalk on, and you can use that in a variety of places throughout any run.
Yeah, there are very nice things you can do with Moonwalk, and some tricks that come up in Randomizer that are a lot easier with Moonwalk. It's the kind of thing I would keep on even if it was suddenly decided that Moonfall was not allowed. That's not going to happen though at this point with records already having been set with it being used. But
sure, but I do agree with you. Actually, I've thought about that a lot. Even if Moonfall were not a thing, I would still keep Moonwalk on for a lot of instances where I need him. Oh, unfortunately, Ddraig, he missed, I think, the last super on the quick kill, and then he had one left, but then he accidentally fired it into Kraid's hand. So this is taking a little bit longer than he would have preferred. But there we go. We got a nice dead Kraid there.
Swap space, picking up another energy tank. That's another one that's on your way. You might as well get that. Get those high jump boots. High jump boots plus gravity suit makes the trip into Lower North. The gravity jump with high jumps is a fairly free trick. Without high jump or without gravity suit, it definitely is a little more difficult. So I suspect, since we do fully expect them to go ahead and, I guess they don't have to go. I mean, they could just do a lava dive. There's no reason they necessarily have to go ahead and pick up the. Yeah, I wonder if they're just going to go straight down.
Yeah, I guess maybe they could with enough energy tanks.
I mean, the normal GT Classic route does not go to Fantoon. You go get the minimum number of items that you're comfortable with, then you do the lava dive, and you're there. And,
well, correct me if I'm wrong. The energy tanks would be things that you're supposed to skip for max percent GT,
right.
or no?
Right, yeah, absolutely. You in max percent, you have to go down there with no E-tanks and then one of each ammo item. And that's all you can pick up in terms of non-major items.
That makes a lot of sense. So that's why people go to pick up gravity, is because yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Because then you have, if you're going to do a gravity jump with no tanks, you really want that basically free jump. And even then, it's, at that point, it is free because you don't have gravity suit, and so you basically get one shot at it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, picking up these extra energy tanks really means that they do not have to go to wreck ship at all, and then they can figure out which items they want to start collecting in terms of getting to that 116. Yep. So they're going to get 54%, I believe. Is that correct? After they activate the GT code. Yeah,
that sounds about right. And so everything will count based on what the items they currently have in their inventory, and then every minor item they pick up after that will count again.
So the minor items they currently have will not count towards the 54. Is that right?
Right.
All right.
It'll be they're going to do the GT code. They'll have 100 missiles, 20 supers, 20 power bombs, 7-ish E-tanks. I still haven't quite figured out how that works because you got that zero. It's 700 energy, not 7 E-tanks. It's very bizarre. And they'll have all the major items except screw attack. And why it didn't include screw attack? I guess because it's just right there. So they got to be careful. If they want screw attack, they got to be careful not to pick it up before they enter the GT code. Otherwise, they will lose screw attack.
Yeah, and everybody wants screw attack, so.
But we do see a little bit of route divergence here. Swap Space went ahead and picked up the wave beam and the speed booster. Things that I wouldn't pick up if I were just going to go straight to GT code. And Ddraig looks like he's going back up and going to do that Fantoon play that we were talking about earlier. And wants that gravity suit. So yeah, both taking this very differently.
Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. Earlier I said that they might cut out. I said 2 of the slowest items would be at GT. Well, obviously they have to kill GT because they have to do the code. So forget I said that.
Well, honestly, they're not gonna. I don't think they'll pick up the missiles at GT because they won't have space jump. That one item that's space jump locks. I think it'd be an easy one to choose to skip. The super missiles, of course, are right there. There's no reason not to pick those up.
Yeah, definitely. I guess you want to activate the code and then grab those. So basically, they're going to be at 54 when they activate the code, and then assuming I'm understanding this correctly, and then after that, they'll need to collect 56, 62 more items or whatever.
Yeah, that's the math I'm doing in my head. So yeah.
All right.
Interesting. Swap Space looks like he's also heading back up. Maybe he was thinking towards that what we were talking about before, making sure he skips the missile. Because that's with that speed booster. Ddraig, on the other hand, decided just go straight up. Gets his see, this is the thing they need. They need the power bombs. Neither one of them went up and got power bombs ahead of time. That would have been the way to go if you wanted to go straight down. That's what the regular GT Classic does. You pick up the power bombs, then you go down, you kill Kraid, get your Various suit, and then do your lava dive. Let's see if they.
Yeah, it looks like they're heading back.
Yep, for sure, Ddraig. Yeah, Ddraig is definitely heading back. Swap Space. We'll see.
Man, I gotta tell you, after doing so much new route, and any other Fantoon first category, I really do not like Red Tower with high jump boots on. Like every time I do a for fun old route run or hundo or something, and I get there and I have the high jump boots, it's so awkward. Like I don't remember what to do. So
yeah, the wall jumps are different, and since I do a lot of randomizer, I have a lot of times when I do have the high jump and a lot of times when I don't have the high jump, so I'm pretty comfortable going back and forth. But I remember the very first time I had to do Red Tower without high jump boots, it just looked bigger.
Yeah, I guess
you
just get
not what you used
accustomed to whatever you like,
But now I've done it so many times with both that it's like, okay, so I have to do it just this way, and here's where my wall jump goes off of. But yeah, I can certainly see if you're used to no high jump boots. Like I remember when you were grinding low ice for a long time, and when you finally went back to other categories, and I know your high jump boots is like your favorite item. I remember how much trouble they gave you.
Well, yeah, it's a great item, and I really like them in conjunction with Speed Booster for the other traditional categories. But
absolutely.
But yeah, there are definitely some rooms where, the movement between the beginning of the game when you have nothing versus when you get high jump and speed is drastically different. And if you're really accustomed to one after doing it for a long time, it can be an adjustment for sure.
It looks like Swap Space is going to go ahead and do Fantoon here. I mean, you have to do this fight anyway at some point. Going for the ocean fly. I think you got it. Yes, you did.
Sing it for us, Tracy.
I don't sing.
Actually, you know what? I remember a few years ago in our multi-category, or maybe it was an any % tournament. I remember Sephi or Keku or somebody was singing it, and it's a great song, but I don't know if we can even sing it anymore. And all this stuff, so never mind. We won't even go there. Look at this short charge. I love that short charge speedball into
that is a nice one. Okay, swap space, entering his Fantoon fight. 2 energy tanks, 15 missiles. Not too different from, I'm not gonna call it a typical old route run, because old route, I think you get more variety in terms of number of E-tanks you pick up going into this than a new route. New route's always gonna be 1 tank, no suits.
All right, here we go.
And Ddraig gonna go for the lava. I don't think he's saved, so he's got a couple shots at this. Oh, I was worried that fireball was gonna get him. That is a very bad way to. Okay, there we go.
Let's go, baby.
Okay, let's see if he takes a. I hope he takes a save here. This being a marathon event, I'd hate to see anyone lose a ton of time to either the green gate glitch or to. We had in the most recent multi-category tournament, and I know you can speak to this. We had several people having trouble just even entering the GT code properly, which.
Did we have several people, or was it just me?
No, it was not just you.
We had other people that entered the room and didn't get the code?
Yeah, you weren't the only one. So.
Really? I didn't even realize. I knew some people missed the green gate glitch, but I didn't see anybody else miss the code.
All right, so Ddraig can go. He's got his 5 super missiles to do that green gate glitch.
The good news is, I try to find the silver lining on all this stuff. So luckily for Ddraig here, he doesn't have to worry too much because he does have a save. So even if he, doesn't get it, he can just reload. He's obviously losing some time, but not the end of the world. But the good news is, there's always a silver lining. And after I botched that code entry, I re-examined how my hand position was when I did the code and realized that I was actually giving myself a chance to mess it up. And then I didn't do it ever again. So, there's always something good you can learn.
So one advantage Swap's going to have when he gets down there, he will have an extra, he did pick up those supers, so he'll have an extra missile pack, or super pack to do the gate glitch with. So that that might save him some. That might give him back some of the time he's losing for doing this first. Ddraig gonna go ahead and try this again. I know for me personally, I find that either I'm on it and I'm gonna get it really quick, or I'm off, and there's no real rhyme or reason for this trick, whether I'm on or off. Just some days I can just get it at will, and other days it just doesn't want to happen. And unfortunately, it looks like Draig's having one of those days where it just doesn't want to happen. So having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that honestly, it's not uncommon to have trouble with the green gate glitch. It's like you were saying, it's not inherently a crazy difficult trick in terms of inputs. It's just that it's kind of a feel thing, and sometimes if you're just slightly off rhythm, you just won't get it.
I like to use the word finicky for it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's almost kind of like in basketball, where it's some days you just can't get the ball to go in the rim. That's kind of what this is like.
Okay, Swap getting his gravity suit, so I'm sure at this point he'll head down. There it is for Ddraig. He's got to be a little careful. Okay, so now he's fine because he's going to go ahead and enter that GT code. It'll give him his full energy. Notice he's selected missiles. So the GT code works by hitting all the face buttons as you enter the room. And then you have to menu and turn off spacers. So the reason Ddraig had his missiles selected is he doesn't have to, if missiles are selected, he doesn't have to worry about firing a shot before turning that spacer beam off. And that's another way to soft lock there.
Having GT end up on the left side of the room is not preferred.
Not ideal.
Yeah, not ideal. He's taking a lot of damage. It's probably not going to matter. He should be able to, especially since he's obviously going to be picking up more items after this. But and he's got, you know, plasma, and he'll have screw attack, so he'll be pretty safe. But not ideal situation. But he has right now, unless I'm mistaken, he's got 54%. And so the first thing he's going to want to do is, well, I guess not.
Not gonna pick up. Yeah, I would pick up those supers, but definitely gonna pick up the screw attack.
It would definitely be faster to pick up those supers than some other item later down the line. But
yeah, it's right there. You've got space jump, screw attack, and high jump.
Mega Man 2 NES cartridge making a good point that he now has 54 after getting the screw attack, which does make sense because that's the same thing you would have at the end of a GT Classic run.
Yep.
So he's at 54, and at this point, everything else he picks up should add to that, and using that screw attack to go very quickly through the Pillar's Room.
Yeah, we will point out that they do get both grapple beam and X-ray scope. You can't see them on the HUD. You only get to see them if you actually physically pick them up. Grapple beam doesn't really do much for us in this category, but X-ray actually is very useful in this category, using the so-called microwave beam to make quick work of some of the bosses. Ddraig will have a chance to use it against Phantoon as well. Swap, of course, has already killed Phantoon, won't get to do that. But he'll get to use against Botwoon and Dragon when we get there.
Yeah, one thing that you'll note about the max percent GT leaderboard is the world record is significantly quicker than the 100% world record. And obviously some of that is due to the fact that you pick up, you know, well, I guess what I'm trying to get at is even though you end up picking up a ton of items in max percent, after you get the 54%, you actually are, you have all the movement items.
Yes.
So there's all kinds of ways, and plus you start in a different place. Like, you know, like you're running rooms differently, like in Upper Norfair, for example, than you would in Hundo. So anyway, there's all kinds of ways to go faster with the extra items that you have.
Swap Space getting that gravity jump first try. It's going to take the save before going for the gate glitch. He'll have 10 shots each time. And, you know, it's going to be a while before we're really going to be able to call a lead here in terms of finishing. Because Swap Space having already killed Phantoon, Ddraig will have to go back and do that later.
So we got a 20-shot Ridley fight here with the full beam combo, which is exactly what we'll have for Mother Brain as well. Ridley and Mother Brain have identical health, but they don't interact with every single projectile in the same way. Ridley takes double damage from super, so sometimes, you know, if you're trying to really optimize your Ridley fight, even with the full beam combo, there are a few situations where firing 3 supers instead of 2 charge shots can actually be a little bit quicker. Looks like Swap Space is going to have to reset here as Ddraig finishes up his Ridley fight with a few more shots.
And there it is. That is one dead Ridley.
You know, I don't actually remember when he picks this up. Is it going to go to 0-0 or is it going to go to 99?
It's still 0. Yeah, it's still 0-0.
Huh, interesting.
And if they go to if they pick up more than 14, it gets really interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, what's more fun is you can actually stack reserve tanks like this, and get a lot more reserves. So the menu starts looking very interesting. But I don't think we're gonna. The game gives you 3 reserves, so we'll see how many they pick up beyond the 3. So they can have up to 7.
Well, reserve tanks are pretty fun, so I can get behind that. There we go. Swap has managed to successfully get the green gate glitch. And at this point, I gotta assume they're just gonna start clearing out items in all the sections until until they get closer to 116 and figure out which ones they want to skip. Probably not hard to skip anything right now.
I tell you, trying to figure this out on the fly. I mean, I have math degrees, and I am a terrible counter. So.
Yeah, I would just pick up every single item until I got near the end, and then I would stop somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you can stop at the ship and figure it out from there. It wouldn't be a terrible thing to do. But in some sense, we should be rooting for these guys to like be way off because, you know, they've agreed to donate $1 for every percent they're off.
Yeah, and that's obviously, you know, money well spent.
Yep.
Obviously, this, you know, I think this charity is really awesome. I'm someone who works in public education, so, you know, it's near and dear to my heart, if you will.
Absolutely.
I think all charities are great, but this is just one that I have like personal, you know, connections to professionally. So any donation is great, and but it is fun to still kind of theorize about which items you would or would not pick up.
Okay, these lower Norfair escape items are pretty easy. We're gonna skip the what we like to call the power bombs in jail. That's probably a little bit slower than you'd like because you have to go through the maze there.
Yeah, I like that.
But these other two escape items are very quick, so I like that he's picking these up.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of skipping those power bombs. It's pretty slow.
And we did see the swap space did pick up the super missiles in the GT area, so.
So we are officially out of Lower Norfair with Ddraig, and he's going to clean up this Bubble Mountain section. There are several items here, including 2 down here with Wave Beam and...
Well, just the one, the Wave Beam.
Yeah,
I mean, he could pick up Wave Beam. It's not going to do him any good, but yeah, this item is pretty easy. This missile right here.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that the major ones don't count. But yeah, 1 missile, and he can turn right around, and then...
I might skip the missile at speed booster, but I would definitely go and get the reserve tank area. That's 2 missiles and a reserve tank that are basically free. If you get all 3, I mean, why not get all those? But he is going to get the speed booster one.
Yeah, I guess to a certain degree, even though I do agree with you, I mean, it might be the right call to skip it. It's like, unless, oh no, the cardinal sin of not using item cancel. One thing we forgot to point out is, or maybe you did, and I just didn't notice, was that you still technically have grapple and X-ray, but you just can't see it on the display.
Yeah, the skill of item cancel, I think, really is actually a pretty underrated skill for any Super Metroid category. Being able to item cancel, if you watch some of the top runners when they get to Torian, for instance, without that item cancel, sometimes they can switch things so quickly that it almost feels like they're shooting their super missile at the same time as they're shooting their ice beam. And that can't happen without item cancel if you're trying to menu through all your items.
That is 100% true. But anyway, I do understand why he would still choose to go get that speed booster missile, because like at a certain point you don't want to be skipping so many things that you accidentally undercut, you know?
Yeah, and then have to come back and get it. So that makes a certain amount of sense.
I'm sure in theory it's the best call to skip it, but like on the fly, if you're doing it for the first time, you might not know. You know?
Swap space in his Ridley fight. Looks like he's going to use some supers here. Supers are the highest DPS, although it's pretty close with the plasma. In a typical any percent run, you want to conserve your supers for other things. So either you're doing either you're doing new route, in which case you're using Spazer instead of Plasma, so you are going to use those supers, or you're doing old route, in which case you want to save those supers and not have to farm or refill. So yeah, in those situations, you're better off just using in the old route situation, you're better off just using the Plasma Beam. Looks like Ddraig was thinking about going the Speedway, but I think he wants to go get the missiles here in Cathedral.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. You don't typically see going this direction too often in, traditional categories. So pretty cool to see it, especially with this item set.
Or, yeah. I was going to say, the whole reason to go this way is to get the item, and he almost left it behind. But there, now he picks it up.
Nice speedball out of Wasteland there by Swap there. It's a tough strategy to get.
Oh, and Draig's gonna go through the Speedway anyway, or maybe he's gonna do Crocomire. There's a bunch of items down there. We think there's an E-Tank, a Power Bomb, and 2 missile packs, so 4 items he can get over here.
Yeah, and I guess it's a little bit faster than it normally would be because you have the Plasma Beam already.
And you have Space Jump, and yeah, you have a bunch of nice items that'll make it quick. Yeah, the Plasma Crocomire is an interesting one. Okay, no, wait, he's in the high jump area. He's not doing... He's gonna grab these missiles at high jump. He could still do Crocomire from the intended path. We'll see if he does that.
Yeah, so Croc has 5 items, I think, and then a 1 on the way out. So 6 total.
Yeah, so yeah, well, 5 plus Grapple Beam if you count the one on the way out, and with this route he can get an additional item here at the Crumble Tower.
Oh, I was talking about there's yeah, sorry, I'm referring to the missiles, like, what do you call it, like the Croc escape missiles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess grapple wouldn't count because it's a major.
Right.
I've never thought about this. If you pick up grapple after having the GT code, does it give you the
I've never seen it.
icon?
Yeah, I've never seen anyone do it, but I've been told that's what happens.
Huh, interesting.
Okay, Swap Space leaving Lower Norfair. We'll go back over and pick up these missiles that he skipped when he did the wave beam earlier. At least I assume he skipped them.
Oh,
yeah, he did.
Boy. Okay, there we go.
And if you've never seen a Plasma Beam Crocomire fight, this won't take very long.
Hopefully. Oh, I was just about to say, you just jinxed him.
Yeah. If you don't, I'm still not sure if if it happens when you shoot too early or too late, but sometimes you have to shoot him a second time.
Poor Croc.
Okay, Swap Space was thinking about not resetting the room, and you can get out without resetting the room, but not very fast because the blocks don't respawn.
Yeah, don't you have to do like the fastest way or something is to store Shine Spark and then Shine Spark back the other way or something like that?
I think you could do that. And also, I'm going to remind everybody that we don't know if Swap Space may look really behind, but he went and killed Fantoon already. Draig's going to have to go back and do that later, so it'll be interesting to see It's once Ddraig goes and kills Phantoon, which will probably be towards the end of the run. We'll get a better idea of where they're at. Swap space clearing out a lot of the same things that Ddraig has been clearing out.
Those bugs right before grapple are really annoying.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so we're not going to actually see him pick up grapple beam. So we're not going to get that question answered. At least not definitively. Looks like Swap Space is not going to pick up the cathedral missiles. Looks like he is going to head towards Croc, though. There'll be 2 fewer missiles that he'll have, but 1 more super because he picked up the GT super. Once we leave this area. We get a little bit of a high five as Ddraig leaves the Croc area as Swapfade starts his fight.
It looks like Swap isn't going to have to shoot a second time, so saved a few seconds there.
Missed that super shot. I always hate that. Sometimes it's easier to hit the gate from the wrong side than it is from the than from the correct side.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, that should do it for Norfair, for Ddraig. He now has the opportunity, if he wants to go back to Kraid's Lair and pick up a missile pack, which I don't know if that's necessary. It's only 1 item.
Seems a bit out of the way.
He could go ahead and head to Meridia, try to clear all that stuff out. I actually am not familiar with the exact routing of Max Percent GT. But I would imagine that doing Meridian now would work just fine, and then doing the green Brinstar cleanup kind of near the end or whatever.
Yeah, I think it goes something like that. And of course, in Draig's case, he still has to do Phantoon, so he's got a lot of wreck ship area, whereas Swap Space might try to route things so he doesn't have to go back to wreck ship. There's probably, I don't think there's enough items in wreck ship to be forced to go get anything there. Although, there are quite a few items there, because you do have the items in the wreck ship, also the ones in the criteria area on the outside.
Right, yeah, that's true. I guess when Ddraig goes there, he'll have the 2 super packs, and then 2 missile packs, 3 missile packs inside of wreck ship itself, and I think the energy tank, and then several more at the ocean, so that'd probably be a good place to get some quick items.
Okay, getting the 2 items of Mama Turtle, an E-Tank, and a missile pack. There's a lot of good places in Meridian to get a lot of items.
Grabbing the crab supers here. Nice having Spring Ball to just pop right on out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any categories where you actually get to have Spring Ball there. You have to be in a randomizer situation if you're going to grab that item with a Spring Ball.
I can't think of any, so yeah. This beach area might be an area where I think I would skip. The reason for that is just because these rooms are fairly large. You got multiple door transitions, and then 3 items. I mean, 3 items isn't minuscule, but at the same time, I think it's a pretty big time investment just for 3, relative to the other ones you could run into. But again, like I said earlier, I don't know if I would skip very many things on the fly until I got closer to the end, just because I wouldn't want to be lower than 116.
Yeah, this one is kind of slow, but also when you think about what else is in Meridia, there's 2 very quick items you can get in the aqueduct area, but I don't think you want to go down a sand pit. That's pretty much as slow as you can get. Gets you away from Dragon, away from anywhere else you'd want to be. I mean, you could leave that way maybe, but typically leaving Meridia, you want to leave to the top left, not the bottom.
Yeah, that's a good point. Swap space using taking advantage of the fact that if you hold down the jump button with spring ball on, it will jump like instantly, like on the first frame or whatever, and so you can actually safely jump off of crumble blocks, and he used that to get back up.
Yeah, and in fact, the nice thing about spring ball in that room is if you just hold the jump button, you'll continuously jump. That doesn't work for the regular jump button, so it's a good way to get around crumble blocks if you ever run into that situation.
That's true. Looks like Swap is going to head over here and get these Kraid missiles.
Yeah, I can see Swap Space again. Since he's already been to Wreck Ship, may try and pick up more of these more out of the way items, so he doesn't have to make a trip back there. Yeah, and Ddraig, as expected, not going down a sand pit. Those are the worst.
Yeah, not too much fun. And there's no reason to head towards Spring Ball, so.
We've already got Spring Ball, so yep.
Supers without fighting Spore Spawn, Spring Ball without seeing Shack Tool, what a world.
That's right. Ddraig not using the X-ray to do the microwave beam, but still only 4 shots, so you can make very quick work of Ba'un, even without. I find if I don't set it up right away, sometimes it's easier to just use that charge beam rather than try and set it up in the later rounds. Definitely pick up this E-Tank, it's very easy. Right on the way.
Now we might have a full halfy attempt or a halfy attempt, depending on which strat he wants to go for. The cool thing about GT class, I guess he can't do it anymore without the short charge. But the cool thing about GT Classic and other categories like this, where you have all the items, is missing it is less punishing because you can just go ahead and space jump across, which is very nice.
And you saw Swap Space trying to get this Main Street missile with the more difficult, is it Stutter 3 down at the bottom? And then gave up and decided to do the easier but not as quick charge from the ledge there.
Yeah. In the meantime, Ddraig picking up those precious missiles. Looks like Swap going for a short charge to spark up to get this energy tank. And then he'll also grab these missiles in the wall on the right here. This is one of the missile packs that is, as people have pointed out before, probably one of the most likely missile packs for people to accidentally miss if they're playing casually and searching for all the items. It's kind of hard to find sometimes. Nicely done by Ddraig there on the microwave.
That's the microwave. That's how that works. And it's especially nice on the Dragon kill, because if you kneel down while you're using it, the game will force you to stand up when Dragon is dead, and so you don't have to guess. Muscle memory picks up the space jump.
Maybe he just did that to give you a little love there, Tracy.
Maybe. Well, I guess if he's gonna do that, then I need to throw out that emote.
There you go.
Looks like Swap Space also going to do the beach and watering hole missiles and super missiles. It looks like Ddraig gonna be done with everything that he's gonna do in Meridia. I think. Let's see if he chooses. Oh, maybe he's gonna do a sand pit. Gonna do the right sand pit. I think that one's a little bit easier, but I would go, if I were to do just one, I would probably do the left sand pit, just because it's closer to the exit. So, and with Spring Ball, the items are very, very easy to get. Doesn't make a huge difference though.
Do you have any idea how many items they currently have?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I gave that task to chat. So if anybody in chat has a even close count, I do know that Swap has picked up a couple items that Ddraig is not.
Don't do it.
No, you don't need to. What are you doing?
No.
No, don't go get Spring Ball. You have Spring Ball. This is not going to add to your percent.
Oh no. This feels bad, man.
Maybe he's just killing it. Maybe he's just gonna kill him. There we go.
So. All right. Well, there we go.
Well, he went and picked up space jump, so I had to wonder.
Yeah.
You'd forgotten that those items don't count twice.
Maybe they have a gentleman's agreement to kill Shaq. Who knows?
Yeah, I've seen Stranger, so.
I mean, technically, this is kind of like a mini percent runs. You never know what people are going to agree to. Got a little halfy action over here by Swap. And some precious missiles. I guess Ddraig is going to head to, well, if he's going up, I would assume that means he's going to probably go to wreck ship now, maybe?
I think that's where I'd go next. It looks like that is where he's headed. He could pick up there's 3 items. Oh, no. There's 1 item left in Red Tower. Maybe 2. I don't know if he probably didn't get the missiles. He could get a couple items there if he wanted to on the way up. Okay, Swap Space also going to demonstrate the microwave beam.
Hey guys.
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, got some donations for us?
I do. And I'm probably going to be back because Save just surpassed Kill by a single $1.
Oh, baby.
Oh boy.
Save is at $1,800 and Kill is at $1,799 thanks to the $61 donation from Tui. Says save the animals. Well, we also got a $20 donation from Chase to the Mac. If I'm gonna eat while I watch, might as well help someone else eat. Thank you so much, Chase, and thank you so much, Tui. So yeah, just real quick, these runners are going to be moving into. When runners move into the final section, I'll announce again, but when Mother Brain's head hits the floor, that's when this donation incentive is going to close for the final time. So get your donations in, mark the incentives of what you want. The final number on the screen, the runners will have to do. Oh, and Bacon Fixation comes in with a $10 donation to kill the animals. This is going to get crazy, I bet. So I'm going to throw it back to you, and I'll come back when there's a few more donations.
All right, thanks, Jay. Okay, and Ddraig gonna go ahead and heading towards that wreck ship. And he will pick up these missiles.
You know, I'm not a big fan of saving the animals, as I'm sure you know, Tracy.
Oh, I know.
Obviously, for the sake of charity, it's a good thing. But you know, I think I'd feel better about it. Someone should make a special ROM or whatever where the animals are replaced with sprites of animal crackers. Because then I might get behind it. You know, save the animal crackers. Like that's
There you
something
go.
I could believe in. I think, and it would fall in with the whole food theme of this charity. So.
Oh, there you go. I'm sure someone could do that. I've seen some really interesting things in ROM hacks lately, so there's a lot. We have a lot of talented programmers out there in this Metroid community that have done a lot of really cool things, so I bet somebody could do that.
For sure. Okay, at this point, I have to believe that these two guys have an agreement to kill Shack Tool because Swap is on his way there as well. And GG, Shaggy.
Swap did that a little bit faster, so I guess gained a little bit of time there. And that missile pack that Ddraig just picked up, a lot easier to pick up before you kill Phantoon. Swap Space does end up having to get to the wreck ship. Probably skips that one. I kind of call that Spiky Room of Death Part 2, if the ship is activated there.
Oh yeah, that room's terrible.
And Ddraig into his Phantoon fight. This will be his last boss. Actually, they're both. After this, they'll both be done with their G4 bosses. They just got to collect and hope they end up at 116.
Good old Phantoon. I think that was a slow. With a slow reappear as well. Looks like.
Yeah, if you don't actually hit Phantoon when he first appears, there's also a fast, mid, and slow for the what I like to call the invisible phase. And it looks like that was a slow one of that. But then he does manage to get that. So the microwave works a little bit different here. You do need to hit Phantoon with a single missile to open the eye, and then when he reappears, you could do the microwave, and it only takes like 3 shots with the plasma with the full beam combo, so it doesn't take long to kill Phantoon once you get that set up properly.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, Jay.
Yeah, things have been quite wild since I last spoke, so I'm gonna go ahead and run through these real quick. We had a $10 donation from Bacon Fixation, kill the animals. We had a $20 donation from Invarial and Redemption, kill the animals. A $22.19 donation from Miles Power, kill the animals.
All the kills are coming out.
And Chewy with a $30 donation, save the animals and me when my wife sees the bank statement. And then an additional $21 from Chewy, save again, gotta stay above, and we are back to save being a single dollar ahead of kill.
Oh my.
At $1,851 for save and $1,850 for kill. That's just incredible. I'm very curious how this is going to turn out. So I'm going to throw it back to you guys, and I'll be back when the time comes.
Look, all I got to say is eat the animal crackers.
I like your suggestion, by the way, Kip. I will vote for that.
Thanks. So we got obviously the fact that there's a close competition between these two incentives is very cool. So every time I hear the little button or the little sound that Jay has come back into the room, it makes me happy because I'm like, hey, more money
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
charity. So, but yeah, we've got Ddraig here cleaning up some wrecked ship. Looks like Swap is heading that way. I still, to be honest with you, I don't exactly know how many items they each have, so it's hard for me to tell who's ahead exactly.
We'll see if either one of them chooses to stop at the ship to get a count. That'll give us some bit of an idea. Swap says picking up that missile that he previously did not pick up for obvious reasons. As he goes back into the wreck ship area. Yeah, I actually don't like the. Like I said this earlier. This is the area that I'd be avoiding if I were Swap Space, having already done a large portion of it previously. Granted, he only picked up the one super pack, but you know, it was quite a bit of a time sink to come up here earlier.
By the way, what Swap just did there, for some reason, I don't know why, I just find that a very fascinating, or excuse me, a very satisfying mock ball to get, the mock ball on the way out of the lower ocean missiles.
Oh, sure. I'm just a fan.
There.
I'm a fan of mock balls. So.
Yeah, they're
they
pretty
just look they're so smooth and cool, and I wish I was better at them.
Yeah, it's always fun when you get one. Oh, I guess is Ddraig gonna? Yeah, it looks like Draig's gonna go down here. I would assume he's probably not gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna.
Yeah, I think bowling. 2 items from bowling just don't seem like worth it.
I agree. Good call here.
Let's see if he does check his count at the ship. Of course, he'll have to do a little bit of math because you're gonna take each of your ammo items and divide by 5, then add up everything else you have. Oh, mistimed that shot at Shine Spark a little bit. But
yeah,
space jump up.
I guess they'd have to remember how many minor items they picked up earlier too, right? Or do some of those still count? I don't think.
No, no, none of the ones before. So you have to add up your major items, plus your number of E-tanks, plus your number of reserve tanks, and then divide each of your ammos by 5, and that'll add that all together.
Because they have already been superseded by the GT code. Okay, yeah. Yep. There's just so much going on here.
Nope, he's gonna skip the ship and go over to Gauntlet. There's 3 items here. This is a good pickup. And maybe he's better at counting than I am, so maybe he knows exactly how many items he has.
I can guarantee you, and I mean this with 100% sincerity, if I were doing this, I would lose track at some point. I'm still all for keeping track of stuff like that.
Well, and then I'll start second guessing myself, so it almost doesn't even matter if I keep it the correct count or not. And Gauntlet, very much a safe area when you have gravity suit, space jump, and screw attack.
And doing a nice job of getting in between those crumble blocks. That's an area where it's always a little dangerous during a hundo run if you're trying to go quickly.
And pre-opening the door to Turian, it tells me but isn't going in, so he's not at 116, or at least he doesn't think he's at 116.
Dude, I just realized what I would have done. I just had the most cosmic brain idea. You ready for this?
Let's hear it.
I would have just run GT code straight up.
Yep.
And then finished the game and just paid the amount of money. And just completely dominated the race.
There you go.
Like, what is it, like $60-something or whatever? I would have just straight run GT Classic and then just donated the money and been like, get on, baby.
grabbing that reserve tank. If we get a chance to see his menu, I know he's got 2 reserve tanks, so that he's picked up. So it'll be a total of 5. You'll get to see just what it looks like. Probably have the menu to do something, do things like Zeb skip anyway. So turn off that screw attack.
Yeah, that's a good point. Tracy, do you have like a least favorite item to pick up other than, a couple of the obvious ones like Spring Ball or the GT regular missile pack or anything like that? Are there any items that you just think are in really annoying rooms?
Anything in a sand pit.
yeah, I can agree with that.
If you've ever tried to get the right item on the right side suitless, let me tell you, that is not a fun item to pick up. And that has come up in an SMZ3. It was for those of you Legend of Zelda fans, it was my hammer.
Oh, no.
Which, if you know that game, it is a required item, and
I don't even know
Gravity
the
was
game,
behind
but I know
it.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's an item you need. So, yep. But yeah, to your point about just finishing, Swap Space could choose to do that right now. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go finish this race, and whatever percentage I have is what I got. All right, looks like we got Jay with some more donations here.
Yes, greetings, hello. We're going to get started with, see if I can catch up real quick. We have a lot of the same people kind of battling out. I want to make sure I don't read the same one twice. Here it is. I'd with $11. Excuse me, I'd 11 with $20. Gotta try to keep the save and lead. Another 20 to save. Bacon Fixation with $10. Kill the animals. Let's go. Fate Firex with $11. We can't leave everything up to Fate. And that actually tied it up at 1,871 to 1,871. But Shadow Nilmaster donates 100 bits and says, kill the animals. So Kill is now in the lead by $1 in the other direction. This is a super tight race. It's been a blast following along, but I will be back surely with more hot donos. So until then.
Excellent.
So, somebody out there must feel really strongly. If you feel really strongly one way or the other, just put out that huge donation and just put your side in the lead.
Unless that side is safe. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
We see Big Pink Swap Space in the early supers area. Getting those, there's a ton of items right there. It's like Draig's gonna go ahead and get the backdoor Spore Spawn supers. I'm using there are like 3 or 4 different spots you can actually stand to get that set up.
Yeah, I'm actually only familiar with like one of them. I need to go back and learn the other ones.
Well, there's only one I use. I know that it's not the one that most people use, so I know there are others. But I've seen at least 2 or 3 others.
I'm kind of notoriously bad for if I just find something that works, I'll just do it until I have a reason not to.
I mean, I personally am not setting any world records. I mean, at least you've had, even if it for brief moments, have had records. I believe the all bosses time was yours briefly.
Yeah, I've had some quote unquote world records, but always with the caveat that I knew that they would be beaten later when someone like Zoster Zenny ran the category. Yeah. But yeah, that I'm not really a world record caliber person, so. I'm still trying to go fast, but at the same time, a lot of times if something works for me, I'll just stick with it until I have a reason not to do it anymore. Ddraig getting that orange door open up there. Looks like Jay's back. Uh-oh, looks like we got some more good news, people.
I am. I wanted to update everyone on what Ddraig and Swapspace have decided about how they're going to determine who actually wins the race. They're going to add 30 seconds for every % they are off. That's what they have decided. So whatever the final times are, they're going to add 30 seconds onto each % in either direction, and then that's going to decide the winner.
Seems very reasonable.
Yes, and again, Kill is leading by $1, $1,872 to Save's $1,871. It looks like we're nearing the point where it's going to be getting pretty close to the end here. So if you want to see your animals saved or killed, you know exactly what to do. All right, catch you guys in a bit.
All right, thanks, Jay. Yeah, we are seeing the blue Brinstar area on Drake's side, so that usually is one of the last things you do, at least in a normal 100% run. I think in the GT 135, it may actually be that you do this earlier. That route towards the end gets there's so much collection so quickly. It's a little hard to keep track of.
Yeah, I don't really know myself, to be honest.
But I feel like it might be he might be above 116. I feel like if Swapspace does the same. Oh, he only picked up a couple items in that area, so maybe that was just those last few he needed to put him at that 116 mark. We'll see if he chooses to see if he checks at the ship at all. Oh, he's gonna get the item here. I love how when you have more than 14 E-tanks, you just stay at 1400 and you don't ever go down. I mean, you do.
Right.
It just looks like you never go down.
Right. She's invincible. I guess you're kind of in their agreed upon rule set. You're kind of paying twice if you go over because you wasted time picking up the item in the fanfare, and then you have to add another 30 seconds on top of that. I guess we'll see what number they're at here.
Drake's just gonna go. He's not gonna check it.
Gotta imagine Ddraig's, assuming everything's sort of above board here and we are similar or have, close to the right number of items. I think his decision to forgo going to wreck ship early is the big difference between these two runners.
Yeah,
here.
I would agree. That definitely put him ahead. And he was able to do a much quicker Fantoon fight and did not have to double dip the wreck ship area.
Oh, I hadn't even considered that. That's a great point about the Fantoon fight being easier and faster with the X-ray. Also, no golden Fantoon today, so you can go straight into Dorian without having to backtrack.
Yeah. Always a bad feeling when you skip someone and you have to go figure it out. And you saw him turning off that screw attack in the menu, so I didn't actually manage to look at the reserve tank, but that's always a fun to see all those reserve tanks there. I think he only ended up with 5, if I remember correctly. But
Look, for all you people out there still deciding whether or not you think save or kill should win, I highly recommend you go watch Terminal Montage's Super Metroid video on YouTube. Because let me just say, after I watched it, I felt 100% vindicated for every time I've ever killed the animals.
Okay, Ddraig finishing up his last Metroid room. And this is where you really want to get that baby skip, because that amount of energy drain is a lot.
It certainly is.
He's not at full energy though, which is interesting.
Yeah. Did he take off Barrier to make that process faster?
He may have. Yeah, that sure looks like it. Oh, maybe not. So it is interesting. The two runners picked up a lot of the same items. There are two items that I know Swapspace picked up that Ddraig did not. He picked up the supers at GT, and he picked up the Kraid missiles. And I think he's got two more items overall. I did not see if there are any that he skipped that Ddraig picked up.
Well, barring some kind of weird catastrophe, I gotta assume that Ddraig is gonna win here, because even if he's multiple items over, he is several minutes ahead.
Yeah.
Like, he would have to be off by like 10 items or something. Maybe not 10, but probably like 8.
Having no trouble with the Zeb skip. There you go. You got to see the reserve tanks, also the 5 reserve tanks on Swapspace's side as well. It's really fun when you get like 10 of those. I've seen that done in. I've seen that done in the practice round where you just keep collecting items and more items.
I bet that would make for a fun Crystal Flash.
Yeah.
Well, we got a 20-shot Mother Brain here, and given how much energy players have, this will not be a dangerous fight.
No, this is when I do these fights all the time in SMZ3, although not with more than 14 E-tanks, but certainly with enough where it's just easier just to go ahead and let her damage you. Just don't even avoid the attacks.
Yep.
And I will add that we're not a whole lot of time left to get those donations in if you're wanting something to change here.
Hello, hello.
We got Jay.
Welcome back, Jay.
Oh my goodness. Okay. let me first. Sorry, I just saw a donation that blew my mind. We've had wow. Okay, a lot of developments. We had a $99 donation by TUI to save the animals. Actually, hold on. Back before that, we had a $30 donation from Clockwise UK. Save them, Space Bears. Awesome work, great cause. TUI comes in with a $99 donation. Save the animals. In Varial and Redemption, kill Dr. Tuin. $200 for Save the Animals. That is insane. Let me get this updated. And also, the runners have informed me that if this were to change between Ddraig's head dropping and Swap's head dropping, Swap will do what it changes to. So it's basically 2 incentive periods. So like 2 or 3 minutes in between. So it can still change if you guys wanted to. But here we go. Let me update this real quick for you guys so you know exactly where it stands.
By the way, we got some slow-mo going on Swap Space's screen here.
Oh no. I got grabbed by the baby.
2260. That was to kill.
Adding it up.
I'm trying. It's coming in so fast. Okay, so Ddraig is certainly saving. Swap Space still has an opportunity to kill. That's incredible. But look at this for a moment, guys. Look at this incentive and how much it's raised alone. Well over $4,000 if I'm doing math with my brain right now. That is incredible.
Well
that
done.
is super incredible. And we are now 90% away from our overall goal of $13,000. That is just unbelievable. I'm gonna inform Ddraig of what he's doing real quick.
Looks like Swap is going to attempt to finish this run with the slow-mo, so this should be a lot of fun. Especially if he has to save the animals.
Yeah, it's that'd be awfully close, I think. Okay, Ddraig saved those animals, and looks like he's about to finish.
GG.
There it is. Call it about what, a 122.15. I don't think we're on SRL or anything official, so.
If it's SRL, we got to add a few seconds.
Yeah. GG's to Ddraig. But we will have to wait and see what that percentage is. I'm really curious because I lost track way early.
I'm just going to have faith that he knew what he was doing. He's going to get 116 on the dot.
Sounds good. Swap Space not going to have the energy to do stand-up. And unfortunately, he didn't get the opportunity to damage himself down, so he's going to have a little bit longer here as Mother Brain's going to fire some extra shots to get that down below 1 energy tank. Entirely sure why Swap Space is continuing to pop those reserves a little bit at a time. It's like he wants to just use up all his reserves.
Honestly, I think he's just not looking forward to the escape with the slow-mo, and he's just making it, he's milking it for all it's worth.
Yeah, it could be.
It's like when you're in college and you got a paper due and you decide that's the time that it's time to clean the apartment or whatever.
Yep.
I think that's what's going on here.
Okay, he's used up all his reserve, and there comes the baby.
See, I was right. Ddraig picked up the space jump just for you, and I just want to say I really appreciate him picking up the high jump boots just for me. I know he wouldn't have if he didn't want to, do me a favor. So thank you.
Oh, he knows his commentator's favorite items.
Of course.
Okay, let's see what that percentage is. Oh, 118, off by 2.
Run invalidated.
Yep.
Reset. Obi's got a save somewhere.
See, if he hadn't gone to the sand pit, he would have been fine. I said, don't go to the sand pit. It's too slow.
That's a great point. You did make that point.
He says that's where he lost count. That's pretty funny.
He made it further than I would have, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no question for me either. Okay, let's see if Swap Space can get this slow-mo. Unless Kill came in with a whole lot more money, he's gonna have to save the animals with the slow-mo. I'm sure Jay will let us know if anything changed.
Alright, this is going to be entertaining. This is really not overly easy to do, by the way. I've tried and it's not fun.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
So things definitely calmed down following the onslaught of donations for Save and Kill. Looks like Swap is also going to be saving the animals thanks to a pretty deciding donation by Dr. Tuin. That 200 drop was, and the 200 by Dr. Tuin and the 100 by Tui really sealed the deal for a save at the last moments there. We are going to be seeing what Swap Space is going to be finishing with percent-wise. I'm actually very curious. Just to give you guys a heads up on what's going to be happening down the line, we have a Metroid Prime Echoes randomizer by Simperfire Dog following this. There is a donation incentive for that. It's going to be to kill all bosses, and that is a $200 donation incentive if you want to see all the bosses be killed in Metroid Prime Echoes. Following that, we have 2 more donation incentives, but they were already met. Hero 82 is going to be doing Super Castlevania 80% whip only, and then Sineth and myself are going to be doing Celeste Blind Race. We're going to be starting off tonight for until 1:30 a.m., starting at 11:30, and then we're going to be unlocking a day 3 on Tuesday to basically spend that entire day doing the rest of Side A completion. There's also, to finish that off, there's going to be a Retrofile TV Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide rando, and there's some donation incentives to choose characters. Okay. Whew. All right.
That'll be fun. I actually played Celeste for the first time recently, too. I think you guys will really enjoy that.
And did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be the first time for both Sineth and I. We're going to do it completely blind.
Yeah, you guys will love it. And obviously, I'm looking forward to the Castlevania 4 run. And also, anybody out there who's never seen a Worlds Collide Final Fantasy VI randomizer, that's actually really fun, too. So y'all got a lot of good content coming up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And we have now surpassed 90% of our goal. That's awesome. Thank you,
really
guys.
is. Yeah, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Jay.
Yeah, no problem. Have at it.
Okay, he's got 52 seconds to get out of here. After saving the animals in slow-mo. I think he's got this.
I'm impressed. The only time I've ever done this, I tried to save the animals and I literally died while Samus was like on the ship running towards the entry.
Oh my god.
So I'm impressed that he has so much time left.
Oh no. That shine spark is not gonna help. You might have done that on purpose though. There we go.
GG.
Yeah, GG's to Swap Space. Finishing it out. Now I'll just have to see what his percentage is. I feel like it might be higher because I still feel like he picked up a couple extra items.
Looks like we are joined by our runners, Ddraig and Swap Space. GG, gentlemen.
GG.
Tell us about what it was like to think about on-the-fly routing for which items to pick up.
It was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we were in our own voice chat, and we were both discussing as well, like what would be the best bits to skip. Like, is it better to skip parts of Meridia? Better to skip, for example, Croc? Better to skip, parts of Wreck Ship? And we really didn't work it out until we got very close to the end, and it was a bit too late.
Yeah, that was a really weird category to run. I would recommend everyone give it a shot because it was really good fun. But
Okay.
Yeah, that was weird.
Just in case there's any confusion, with the percentages, if Swap Space also doesn't get 116, it goes on time difference with a 30-second penalty for every percentage point off, which means that I would win. If he hits 116, it's only fair that ultimately Swap Space wins. He hit the actual target. So,
Okay.
Just want to clarify that. As far as I'm concerned, if he hits it, he's won. End of.
Yeah, but I feel like, there's at least 2 items that Swap Space picked up that you didn't pick up. The Kraid missiles and the supers at GT. So I'm guessing he might actually be higher.
But he also picked up other items before the GT code
That's true.
I didn't.
Which
is
is-
why
Yeah, that is true.
we were trying to work it out between us, and it was
Like trying to focus on movement at the same time, and so we're sitting thinking like, okay, so I picked this up after you picked it up before, and I finished. Like Ddraig was saying that he was leaving Botwoon at a certain count, and we're trying to marry up what that means for my count as I left it and stuff. It was carnage.
Yeah, it's hard to focus on trying to keep track of numbers while also trying to play the game. I feel like y'all got a similar experience that a lot of people feel when they're doing bingo cards. It's like you just don't even know what you're doing, and you just kind of keep playing for a while.
I would say the biggest difference I feel between when I've played this and when I've played bingo is at some point in the bingo run, I'm like, okay, now I know which tiles I'm filling out.
Yep.
On this one,
That
it
makes
was
sense, yeah.
the entire way through just, have I messed up my count? Have I done this? It was great fun.
Yeah.
But it was interesting.
Well, let's see here. We are about to
Almost there.
see the percentage.
I already know what it is, and I'm not going to say anything.
The magic of stream delay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here?
This cutscene is so long.
Unbelievable.
118!
Oh!
You're both 2% off. Oh my.
Well, the silver lining is I need to congratulate both of you gentlemen for getting a 118% PB today. So
There you go. There you go. I'm telling you, it's that sandpit. You just should have avoided, if you apparently you decide you had to kill Shack Tool and had to go through and get those sandpit items on the way.
Well, you know what they say, death to Shack Tool.
Yeah. It was worth the loss. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
Well, I'm
it
not
was a lot of fun
exactly-
for us. We hope you guys enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I'm not exactly the Shack Tool saver either, so.
But thank you, both of you guys, for commentating. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank you for
everyone who's
asking us.
donated as well. It's
Yeah,
been,
no problem.
like, this has been fantastic. But yeah, like, seriously, guys, I hope you had as much fun commentating this as I'm going to have watching it back to hear your commentary, to be honest. So.
Well, if you go back and listen to it, I wouldn't expect any in-depth elite tier commentary on the run because, to be honest, I probably asked maybe 8 times how many items people had after the GT code or something.
Well, we left it up to chat, and somebody was keeping track early, and that ended pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I've had
We
the
definitely
stream.
had fun.
I've had the stream up throughout the entire thing, and I spotted MM2 get to about 60% each.
Yep,
And
that
then
was what I was
just-
thinking of.
Yeah, and then just got lost, presumably. It's about when I got lost as well, to be fair, about 8 items after GT code.
Yeah, for sure. But thank you guys again for doing this race. I had a lot of fun commentating. It was nice spending some time with Tracy again, and
absolutely.
appreciate Jay and everybody putting this on and raising money for a great charity. So thank you guys so much again. Tracy, I'll turn it over to you to close us out here.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Always a pleasure commentating with you, Kip. Ddraig asked me, "Do you want to do this?" And is it okay if Kip commentates? I'm like, "Come on."
I guess it's okay.
Yeah, I think I can handle that. But no, you're one of my favorites to work with, so it's always absolutely a pleasure. And I guess we'll turn it over to Jay and the rest of the people in the background. And again, thanks to Jay for setting this all up. This is a great charity and a great event, and really good that we're getting all this money.